Radon in Idaho? What is radon? What causes it? How does it get in our homes? And what should we do about it? That's what I want to talk about in today's video, so let's go. Hi, I'm Charlotte with Birch & Cedar Realty Group. I'm a local realtor here in Boise, Idaho. You've heard the word radon, and you've heard that it's in Idaho. So what exactly is radon? Radon is an odorless, colorless, chemically inert radioactive gas. It forms naturally through the breakdown and decay of radioactive elements such as uranium. These radioactive elements can be found in the soil and rock in differing amounts all across the world. Radon has been found in every state in the United States and in most counties in Idaho. It varies greatly from area to area and even from door to door and home to home. Radon isn't just found in the home. Because it's in rock and soil, it's found outside. You encounter it everywhere in your daily life. We know what radon is now, but why is that important? Why should we care? Well, the Surgeon General for the United States has been saying for more than 20 years that the leading cause of lung cancer behind smoking and cigarettes is actually caused by radon. How does radon cause cancer? A radon molecule gets inhaled by the lungs, and as it breaks down and decays, it emits gamma, alpha, and beta energy. And typically, what will happen is it'll attach to for example, lung cell, and it'll start to decay and emit that energy, and it will kill the cell. But sometimes it will just damage the cell and its DNA, and that cell will be able to reproduce, but it will reproduce with that damaged DNA. That's the carcinogenic effect. This type of lung cancer actually causes about 21,000 deaths per year. So what is considered to be a high level? Well, according to the EPA, anything over 4.0 picocuries per liter is considered high. As I mentioned, Ada County is between 2 and 4 picocuries per liter typically, but there are about 1/3 of the homes tested that do test above that 4.0 picocuries per liter. Now, just because the home has 3.9 picocuries per liter, it doesn't mean that you won't get cancer. And just because the home is above 4.0 picocuries per liter doesn't mean that you will. But it is about risk mitigation. Keep in mind that we're talking about the number of picocuries per liter in a home, but you can actually encounter these radon particles outside as you're walking. So how does it get in your home? The air pressure in a home is often lower than that of the outside air as well as the soil, and that's because of exhaust fans. So typically what will happen is an exhaust fan will run, it will cause a vacuum, and therefore the home, because of that exhaust fan, will suck up different gases, radon as well as other soil gases, and it will get pulled out of the crawl space or out of the cracks in the foundation and into the home. Right now you may be wondering, well, how do I test for this? There's a couple of different ways. One, you can hire a professional and they will bring in a box and they will put it in the lowest level living space in your home. And they will run that test for 48 hours and then come pick up the box and do an analysis and determine how much radon is in the home. As a consumer, you can actually go to the store like Home Depot, you can even get it on Amazon, and get a charcoal testing kit. You'll do the same thing, put it in the lowest level living space and follow the rest of the directions, make sure the home is closed, windows and things like that. Let it run for 48 hours, put the lid on and send it off to the testing lab. The lab will then evaluate the charcoal and let you know how much radon is in your home. Probably the biggest difference between the professional test and the charcoal test is that the professional testing kit is actually going to be able to look at the data and see hour by hour what the level of radon is. The levels of radon actually can change per hour. EPA considers a level of 4.0 picocuries per liter to be high and should be addressed with mitigation. So holy moly, what does that mitigation mean? The definition of mitigation is the action of reducing the severity, seriousness, or painfulness of something. And it's an important distinction because while we do use mitigation and remediation interchangeably, remediation actually means to remove, which you can't actually remove radon completely from the home or the environment. Professional remediation or mitigation will usually reduce a 48-hour average to about 1.5 picocuries per liter. The cost of radon mitigation is actually dependent on how your home was built and how you use it. Most homes can be fixed for about the same cost as other home repairs. To perform the fixes yourself, it usually costs around $300 to $600. If you're having the mitigation done by a professional, the repairs for a concrete slab are generally between $1,500 and $2,000. And for a crawl space, it's usually about $2,000 to $2,500. And if the fixes are addressed during the build process, it's usually between $300 and $500. Idaho's EPA is actually spending more money on education on this topic, so consumers will be talking more about this in the future. For sellers, if you know you want to put your house on the market, take some time and do either a self-test or hire a professional to test the home for you. This way you know ahead of time what sort of level the home has and can address any mitigation that needs to be done prior to going under contract. If you run the test prior to listing, you take an unknown off the table. If there was any mitigation or remediation that needed to be done, once it's finished, be sure to retest so you can see where your levels are at after. Buyers, do your research. And if you do want to have a radon test done, make sure you request that it's done by a professional. If mitigation or remediation is required, make sure that you're hiring a contractor that is NRPP or NRSB certified. The state of Idaho does not license radon contractors. If there was remediation or mitigation repairs that were made, the EPA recommends that you get an independent test done to verify the effectiveness of the mitigation or remediation. Myth busting time. All right, myth number 1. My home has a basement, therefore it has no radon. This is false. Radon gas comes in through the cracks in the foundation. Myth number 2. If the average level of radon concentration in the home is less than the EPA's recommended levels for action, I won't get lung cancer. That's actually false, although I wish it were true. But it is about risk mitigation and putting more chances on your side. Myth number 3. Living spaces on the second floor or higher can't have radon. That's false. It actually kind of depends partially on where that attic fan is, how much circulation is running through your house as well. Myth number 4. Conditioned crawl spaces act as effective radon mitigation systems. This is false. They are not 100% sealed, and they do act as a vacuum. So therefore, they are pulling in those soil gases, including those radon gases. I hope this was helpful. As always, like, subscribe, and click the little bell. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time.